So this time from the new DC Universe Classics All-Stars wave, we're taking a look at the New 52 Superman. We'll take a look at the back of the package here and see a picture of the figure and his biography. You can see that they do encourage you to go to Matty Collector to pick up other DC characters. A little bit late to get the subscription going, but nice attempt there. And you can see the other figures in the line. So the character first appears in this suit in Superman #1. However, he makes his first appearance in Action Comics #1 with a different suit. And I kind of wish we had gotten that look instead of this suit. I'm still not sold on this look. I do miss the red little underwear on the outside for some reason, and it's just doesn't fit with Superman as I know him, or as I like to think of him. But it is in line a little bit with the Man of Steel costume that is coming out in next year. So there is some sort of synergy going on there. It's a pretty good sculpt. You get a very youthful looking Superman. The fine face sculpt there, and I really do like the sculpted S-Shield. Instead of it just being painted on, it is sculpted, and you can see the little details of the line that Jim Lee, who designed the suit, seems to have really taken that design aesthetic of these lines running throughout all the superheroes' suits. All of them have it, but it is pretty neat, and it gives a little bit of detail to a otherwise plain suit. One thing about the sculpt, notice that he does seem to be in a neutral position. He does seem to be a little bit pigeon-toed. Now the paint is pretty nice. I do like the shiny red paint that they use here. It's a very glossy paint. I like it. They use it on the belt here too. It just really does make it stand out. I wish they had that on like a regular Superman figure to really make the color just stand out. And the blue is alright. You do get some shading around the muscles there to really accentuate that. So that's neat too. For accessories, he doesn't have any, but then again, Superman really doesn't need any accessories, I think, so that's alright. Articulation, this figure I have a lot of problems with. First of all is his ab articulation is so loose that he really can't stand straight there, as you can see. His legs aren't much better at the hips there. They do flop around a bit, so he is got this weird wet fish thing going on here that I really don't like. In fact, if it wasn't for his cape, he'd probably flop down backwards like that and just fall over. His cape here is nice. You got a nice little black S on the back there, and it's rigid enough so that it does help keep him propped up, and keep him from falling backwards, actually, a lot of times. Another problem that I found out with the figure is that his thigh here will not move. It will not turn. Of course, until now. Yeah, so the whole time I've had the figure, it hasn't turned. I just turned it on camera like that, and it finally snapped. So, I guess Murphy's Law. His head, he does suffer from the bobblehead that all these figures seem to suffer from this wave. But he can put his head up and forward pretty well as left and right. Even though when you move it left and right, you don't get much articulation from it before it feels like it's going to break, and you can see just like that how it kind of springs back into position. So it's very tight in there, and I don't want to force it because I don't want to break the head off. His arms do go all the way around. His cape is flexible enough to get out of the way. They go out and in, rotate at the bicep, bend at the elbow, rotate at the wrist. You saw his weak, loose ab crunch articulation. He does have waist articulation, but that is limited by the belt here piece. So there's not much there, just a little bit. And I told you about the loose hip articulation, but he can go out to the side, and he does rotate now at both thighs. He does bend at the knee and bend at the ankles. Quite a few major changes in the new Superman in this new 52. He's a bachelor, so he's no longer married to Lois Lane. Yeah, I guess they did that just like One More Day or whatever that Spider-Man thing was. And both his parents are dead and have been dead for a while. So he did grow up with them, but as an adult, basically, he's been on his own for quite some time. And if you've been reading the Action Comics, is more like his earlier appearances, about what would be considered like the new 52 minus 4 years ago, and the Superman series, the Superman comics, are more his present day adventures. But they do kind of play off of each other sometimes very nicely. But overall, the better comic, I'd have to say, is Action Comics. So if you're going to read a Superman comic, go read Action Comics, not Superman. And, yeah, so I guess that'll be it. And stay tuned for the final figure of this little wave. And until next time, I'll see you.